SpaceX went public. First day up, 19%. Market cap hit $2.1 trillion. Many headlines called it the biggest IPO in history. But if you read the fine print, a different picture emerges. This is a brilliantly engineered capital raise, and retail investors have almost no say in how the company is run. In other words, you own the stock, but you don't own the vote. You get price exposure, not governance. According to the S-1 filing, SpaceX issued multiple classes of stock. Common stock gets 1 vote per share. Class A gets 10. And the shares held by Elon Musk, often referred to as Class B or super voting stock, get 100 votes per share. What's more, those super voting rights are structured to be permanent even if Musk leaves or is removed. His voting advantage remains. In other words, you own the stock, but you don't own the vote. You get price exposure, not governance. Over the next 7 minutes, I'll walk through 3 key questions. Why now? What the share structure means, and what you're actually buying at $160 a share. First, why now? Musk has long said, no IPO until Mars. But the timeline behind the filing reveals a critical factor. Employee stock options are expiring. Thousands of early employees have held options for over a decade. Without an IPO, secondary market selling would have been chaotic. This listing is a controlled liquidity event, not a celebration. Second, Starlink's finances. Starlink is growing fast, but it's a capital-intensive network. Terminal subsidies, orbital maintenance, ground stations. According to public reports, SpaceX has invested over $15 billion in Starlink, and a clear path to free cash flow positivity is still uncertain. Public markets are the only funding source large enough to sustain it. Third, and most importantly, AI infrastructure. Starlink's real future isn't Ravi Wi-Fi, it's connecting AI data centers across continents via low-latency orbital fiber. Musk needs enormous capital to launch laser-linked satellites and secure orbital slots before Amazon and Chinese competitors do. Private equity alone can't fund that race. Only public markets can. So this IPO isn't a finish line, it's a pit stop disguised as a victory lap. Now let's talk about the most controversial part of the structure. SpaceX issued 3 classes: Common, 1 vote share, Class A, 10 votes, and Class B, 100 votes. Musk likely owns less than 15% of the economic interest, but controls over 80% of the voting power. He decides dividends, board appointments, and whether to bet the company on Mars, and you can't stop him. The filing also includes provisions that preserve his super voting rights, even if he's terminated or leaves. This isn't a poison pill, it's a permanent control mechanism written into the charter of the world's most valuable company. I'm Kyle Vince. Wall Street calls this founder-friendly governance. I call it a structural trap. You are not buying ownership, you are buying exposure. No voice, no veto, no exit protection. So, what are you actually buying at $160? 3 businesses stacked like Russian dolls. Layer 1, launch services, cash cow NASA and DoD contracts, predictable revenue, but not the reason for the $2.1 trillion valuation. Layer 2, Starlink, growth engine, -3 million subscribers, real utility. But margins are thin due to terminal costs. Unit economics improve over time, but not enough to justify the multiple alone. Layer 3, Starship Plus orbital compute. This is where the dream lives fully resolvable, heavy lift plus the space AI data center narrative. This layer supports the valuation premium, but it also carries the highest risk, technical, regulatory, and competitive, all at once. When you buy at $160, you're not buying cash flows. You're buying an option that Musk is right, that Starship works, that orbital compute is real, that no competitor catches up. Options can pay off big. They can also expire worthless. What the bulls don't want to discuss, monopolies have expiration dates. Amazon's Project Kuiper is launching prototypes. China's 1,000 sales constellation is advancing. OneWeb is back after bankruptcy. Every country with space ambitions wants sovereign capability. SpaceX has a 3 to 5 year lead. In tech, that's short. When competition arrives, Launch prices fall, stalling subscription fees get squeezed, and the monopoly premium evaporates. Musk knows this. That's exactly why he's raising capital now, to deepen the moat before the barbarians arrive. So what should you do? My view: if you're a long-term believer in humanity's space future, SpaceX can be considered a high volatility, governance discounted special asset. But don't treat it as a dividend story. You're not a partner, you're a passenger. Musk is driving, and he doesn't take directions. This IPO is a masterpiece of financial engineering. Just don't confuse a well-designed deal with a fair one.